Hello and welcome to another episode of Issues and Insights. I'm Bryce Shoemake from Hardin County Government, and I always tell you I've got a great friend with me, and I'm blessed that growing up here in Hardin County, we've got our family has lots of people that we know and lots of friends here in Hardin County, and I'm blessed to say Josh Lindblom, our Hardin County jailer, is a friend of mine and is here with us today to talk about what's going on at the jail and what's going on out in the community. Josh, thanks for being with us today.
Well, thank you for having me. Like I said, it's like I told you earlier, it's my first time on the TV here, so I usually like I have the radio face, so it's a little new to me. So
face for radio, and there's probably several people to tell you that I do too, and one of them may even be my wife, But anyhow, talking about you in the last this is 2 years now.
2 years
you've been in office, and so lots
it's been a great
of things.
2 years, really.
It has been.
I've really been happy with everything so far.
And you've got a great group of folks that are working at the jail that help you on a daily basis.
The deputies, the nursing staff, the contractors we use for the food service, everybody's been great, especially through a pandemic.
Right.
But in the last 2 years, they have really stepped up to the plate. They've been doing an excellent job. I'll tell you what, any venue I get to brag on them, I do. I mean, it's really been great. And
let's brag on them just a little bit, since you brought up the pandemic going on and is ongoing. Let's talk about some of the things that your folks have had to deal with at the jail. And we also want to, while we're talking about this, make folks that are watching this show who have loved ones that may be staying at the jail right now. We want to put their minds at ease to know that their loved ones are not suffering, or they're not getting medical treatment, or those kind of things that we,
they're at the jail. Of course, we have 24-hour medical. When people come in, we use the same processes that that the Jailer Association across the state has put forth. People get masks as soon as they come to the door. They're checked to get a medical triage as soon as they come in the door. Quarantine for 2 weeks. We put people in a group and stuff, and they're there together. It cuts down on anything coming in the facility. We had a couple cases, nothing too bad, and with the health department's help, and of course with our nursing staff and Baptist Health Hardin, everything's been going well. One of the other things and stuff we did as well was in this past year, of course, with your office and dealing with EMS, we've actually have an ambulance station on the site now.
Right.
Now, the good thing about it is, we'd rather, have and not need, and need and not have, and it's been great having there. Stuff it's helped out into the county. So
it's been a great partnership.
Oh yeah.
We needed a station down farther in the southern area of Elizabethtown. You all actually had a bay open, and it's been a great partnership. Sure. We're there for one another.
And it saved millions by not having to build another station.
That's right.
And also, it's cut down response time. So, there's, lives being saved in the county, so that's a blessing. So, EMS has done a great job down there.
So, your employees, how are they dealing with all of this pandemic and the worry that they have there?
Well, with the jail and that environment, of course, you always take the extra precautions. You always work hard. So, as soon as somebody leaves, of course, we have shower facilities for the deputies. They if they need to, they want to change and everything before they leave, so they do that. They use universal precautions just like everybody else. Because we don't deal with a lot of people and stuff that are top-notch physical health. But a lot of times, by the time somebody gets out of jail, their health is when they went in. Just on the fact that they
have. I am coughing.
Well, that's okay. We're social distance, which I'm pretty happy about that much.
Staying away from me, yeah.
But yeah, the deputies they work hard. Long hours. That's the thing about corrections. You never know if you come on shift. It's one of those things. You never know what's going to happen. Now the staff has been very professional, done a great job, and they don't mind putting the long hours. And they're like the forgotten heroes of law enforcement because. Different agencies, whether it be the Sheriff's Office, Radcliffe, Elizabethtown, West Point, State Police, the game wardens, everybody, they deal with the people they arrest. The jailers deal with everybody. So everybody that's been arrested and stuff, they deal with it. So, we actually know more people than most of these other agencies because they deal with the people in their towns and stuff. We actually deal with everybody. So it's helped out a lot on different things, and you know, more personal with the folks coming in, because they're like, oh, we know those people because they're you know, they live with each other, you know.
Right.
So I mean, and when you got deputies that work sometimes 12-hour shifts, they get to know everybody very well, and it's more of like a homely thing, you know, a home thing. So it's a little different. I know you served a long time in law enforcement, so you get, you know, acclimated with the folks that you know. They get acclimated with everybody.
Right.
Make sense?
Right. Yes. And you know, I want to put people's mind at ease that have loved ones that are at the jail, and saying that you talked about you've got medical staff there. Yes. 24 hours a day, and we have both had family members. Of course, people don't want to be in jail, and we understand
Sure.
that. You know,
and to be honest with you, we don't want people to be in jail.
Right.
Well, that's the biggest thing. You know, that's the misconception.
Right. And so because they don't want to be there, they may say things to family members exaggerating possibly what may be going on with themselves, you know, as far as thinking that they're not getting treated.
Well, there's
complain.
There is a term called incarceritis.
Yes.
You know, sometimes people embellish things and they say, you know, but as of right now, we have 0 cases in the jail right now. So that's great. 70% of our staff has been, you know, has already had their vaccinations, so that's great. We actually have the capabilities of doing rapid tests in the jail. So we actually went out and purchased the machines to do it right there and stuff. So anytime we transfer folks to different areas of the jail, we're able to test before we transfer somebody. Or if we transfer somebody to another facility, we're able to test. So that's really great.
And that's keeping people safe.
Oh yeah, it's just that extra mile we've gone. I've spent more money in the past, you know, since the pandemic started on cleaning materials. And of course, you know, getting with emergency management and getting with the health department and getting with the other agencies and collecting what PPE and, you know, protective equipment, you know, in case somebody doesn't know. Collecting up all that stuff just to keep people safe.
Right.
We go the extra mile of making sure that, you know, we order, you know, of course, you know, the small correctional soap that you usually get stuff. We get the full bars now and stuff. We make sure they're antibacterial and stuff. And we're, you know, different cleaning materials and stuff, cleaning chemicals that normally wouldn't be used before and stuff. It's just extra strong stuff. So, you know, we've had our last inspection. They said this jail is so clean. You know, I like that. You know,
right.
I like being known as a clean jail. So,
sure.
So that's really good. But yeah, I mean, just to set people's mind at ease, we know that the people there are husbands, brothers, sisters, cousins. I mean, and it's, you know, a lot of folks, you know, in the jail, it's probably about 60% people local that are in the jail. The rest of the folks are spread about the state, and a lot of roads converge in Elizabethtown, so a lot of people from out of town. But either way, we want to make sure that those folks are taken care of. So we don't want people to be in jail.
Right.
We'd much rather see people out on the street doing great, but sometimes people have to be put in jail.
But now, you know, even though they're there, Josh, you provide several programs for people to
Sure.
help people out, either to find a job or to help them out if they've been hooked on some kind of substance. Can you talk about some of those?
We have a substance abuse program, and it's one of the largest in the state for males and females, to where it helps them education on drugs and alcohol and any kind of substance. It helps them, you know, through it all, and it helps them with mental health as well. One thing about it is, and stuff, when somebody's locked up or somebody's, you know, at that point and stuff, where they're at a low point, they build them back up and, you know, help work on getting them productive again.
Right.
We've got culinary arts classes in the jail where they teach people to cook. And so when somebody gets out, they're actually given a list of places that will hire them with the certifications they got when they get out. So that's an easy way to get back in. We got a staffing program to where some folks go out to factories and they go out and work and actually make a real living wage or a real wage while they're out and about in the factories, and they're able to make real money. So when they get out,
yeah, I was going to say, can you talk
I'd
about
love
that
to.
a little bit?
You know, be honest with you, one of the success stories I've ever seen is our first person that was in that program. When that person went to work, the HR place were very hesitant about it. They were very hesitant. Well, now after he's been out of jail for almost a year now, he's in a supervisory role at that factory. And while he was in jail, he was able to make about $16,000. So when he got out, he was able to get an apartment, restart his life.
So now, not everybody knows about this program. What you've actually been able to do is work with industry in Hardin County.
Sure.
While a person is incarcerated, while they're staying there at the jail, yes. During the day, you transport them to the factory that they're working at.
The staffing company transports them, takes them there. They work. They're covered under workers' comp insurance while they're there. So it's another thing of liability. So they're able to be covered under the insurance for this private company.
They earn money while they're doing that.
Exactly. And if you find that if somebody's out working and they are staying active and they are staying productive and they have a goal in life, they don't get sick as much. They don't just sit around as much and be depressed. They're actually working for a goal, and you got to think it's helped out families. It's helped out. It's been great.
It stops that revolving door of once they get out, they come right back. It gives them a purpose.
And it gives them something to fall back on. And to be honest with you, throughout Hardin County, there's a lot of folks that have gotten out that are in those jobs now. They hire them afterwards. It's one of those things where, some agencies will actually charge a headhunting fee. So if you hire one of their employees afterwards, you have to pay them, right? Well, it's not like that with this company. You actually go, if they like you, they'll keep you on.
So now, how long has that been going on that you've had this program?
It's gone on about a year and a half.
And how many people have you had go through that in that time period? Approximately, you don't have to be
currently, there's only 19. But
the pandemic's hurt that.
Exactly. Our state numbers of folks that have come in, people transferred to the prisons have diminished because of a lot of the releases that the governor's office have done and different things. It's the administrative release and everything. But the folks that are in it and stuff are doing well, and they're doing well. But to give you an exact number would be, I'd say we've had over 200 participants roughly, depending on, and the criteria and stuff that they have. Sometimes they might be in it 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever. But like I said, they're making regular money and stuff like that's done well for them.
That's great.
And I've got a stack of thank you cards. And I know you're a sentimental person. I know you keep a lot of stuff. And Kim's told me that before, But all those cards that I get, thank you cards from the inmates saying, "Hey, thank you. This is going to go to my son's braces. This is going to go to this. It's pretty heartwarming to know that we're actually helping the folks
and making a difference in people's lives.
Making a big difference, sure.
People don't realize how much money you save the county every year since you've come into office the last 2 years.
Judge Barry seems to be pretty happy.
He's very happy. So is Daniel London.
So is Daniel London, and I tell you what, he's been a big force in it as well. Both Judge Barry and Daniel have been really easy to work with, really easy to sit down and talk about things. And I want to keep them in the mix of everything. And I want to sit down, so when we look at contracts, I want them involved. I want the magistrates involved because, they say we're all in this together. We are. I mean,
it's not, even though you are a separate elected office and, Judge Barry's a separate elected office, it's all about working together.
Exactly. And, throughout the county, I don't think there's been a time where all the county agencies have worked better with each other. Jenny Oldham's office, the county attorney's office, Shane Young's office with the Commonwealth Attorney's office, Loretta Crady's office and the circuit court clerk, the county clerk, Deb Donnelly.
Sheriff.
I tell you, sheriff. Well, that's what I was going to say. The sheriff's office, John Ward, we work hand in hand together on a daily basis. If they need something, I mean, it's right there. I mean, it's 24 hours a day.
Daniel London has been a great person to come in and help pull all that together too.
We've been sit down, and it's nice to be able to go in and have a conversation and just go over everything. In the first 6 months going into it of the fiscal year, I think our ending numbers was $630,000 off the budget was able to be saved. And it's just by renegotiating contracts, and it's smart spending and everything. And this last year, we were right at $1 million. It was just that close. It was $968,379, and I really would have hit that $1 million mark. And that's not cutting any services. That's not doing anything. It's just it's going through and trying to boost revenues for different things, thinking outside the box on different things. But it's also getting different revenues raised, like, phone contracts and stuff like that.
But now, when we say that, there's going to be people out there going to say, okay, are you taking care of the maintenance and the upkeep and all that?
And here's the thing and stuff, you know, when I talk about revenues, our phone contract, right? To call from the jail across the board, it's 36 cents a minute, right? That's lower than any jail, you know, East Lexington, right? Prior, it was $3.84 for the first minute, and it was 62 cents across the board. Well, we cut it down. We cut it down to make it more affordable for everybody, to where we're still able to keep the service up, and we add an extra phone in the pods, just so everybody would have a chance to use a phone call if they needed to, call home, peace of mind. In all actuality, it's actually making more money than it was before, and it's actually saving money for everybody at home and everybody that's in there. So that's a no-brainer, right? You know, things like that. When we renegotiated a food contract to where each meal was 3 cents cheaper, but yet you had 400 more calories, so everybody's getting fed better. You know, getting fed more calories, and they're able to eat better. Just small things like that. Just thinking outside the box, and I'm not saying anything about anybody prior. That's not, you know, the jail's always been run well. I mean, it's always gone well. But you know, it's just, you know,
but now it's
sometimes
better.
well, sometimes fresh eyes help out. Right? You know, there's times where you know, we sat there, and I've called the sheriff in the middle of the night and said, hey, I got this issue for transporting a prisoner to this area and stuff, and they said, okay, we'll get that taken care of right then. You know, that's the kind of relationship we have. And there's not a county official right now that you couldn't call in the middle of the night and say, hey, this is what's going on. We need to hit, you know, we need to do this. You know, the road department. You know, Dwight Morgan at the road department. You know, we've, you know, snow removal and everything. We actually got, what, a half inch of snow. Everybody's, you know, but you know, the jail helps out with that, you know, and shovels and everything. But also right now, one of the biggest things I'm really happy about is the fact, you know, the jail takes care of 57 properties here in Hardin County, and not a lot of people realize that. You know, graveyards, you know, government properties, you know, nonprofits. Any kind of stuff, you know.
That you're using inmate labor to take care of those properties.
But see, another thing I'm proud of is that while the pandemic started and we had to shut down that program for about 3 months, myself and two of the deputies were going out mowing.
I know you did.
We were out on mowers, we were out doing stuff, you know, even the fiscal court was out there sometimes helping us out with stuff.
John
so everybody was
Bowen
working
and
together.
Wally
Yeah.
were out there as well.
Everybody hopped on and everybody was, you know, so there was no services stopped. Well, even during the pandemic, there was still 3,187 miles of roads trash picked up in Hardin County. 32,858 bags of trash were picked up on the streets of Hardin County the year of 2020, even during the pandemic.
And that was all done by?
Inmates and then sometimes deputies, because
Right.
you know, we were shut down for so.
Right.
But
right.
yeah, right now I've got a crew. All the old trees and stuff that were cut down during the ice storm years ago, they've been sawing them up and stuff and clearing off property at the old landfill, because right now it's just sitting there, so it's a fire hazard, it's not being used for anything. So they're cutting up all these trees, they're splitting the firewood, so when folks need firewood, these nonprofits are sending them over to pick up firewood at the jail.
For free.
For free. I mean, it's little stuff like that to help your community, you know. Every year so far, I mean, we've done projects at Sonora City Hall, West Point, cleared off the boat docks down there and stuff, cleared up that area and stuff. We've done projects with Green Space. Matt Deneen had a big project with the Emerald Cathedral on the backside of Freeman Lake. Did projects down there.
In fact, we did a TV show on that where he was actually bragging on folks from Hardin County Detention Center that had helped them.
I mean, everything you think of. If you see a government building with a shoveled sidewalk, you know, a lot of times that's inmates that are doing that, and people don't realize it. I mean, but you know, I appreciate them, and it gives them a sense of purpose too, because they really enjoy getting out. They really enjoy working.
But it's thousands of dollars of taxpayers' money that's being saved every
Hundreds
year.
of thousands.
Hundreds of
thousands. And you know, people don't look at it like this, but you know, I spend all the money. I mean, like it's my own account. I want to make sure that, you know, it's spent correctly and it's spent to the, you know. I've contested a $20, you know, invoice before because I didn't think it was ours, and it wasn't ours, and that's $20 that's, you know, goes back to the till, you know.
Well, and even when the pandemic before the pandemic started, you had inmates that were going out and helping cities. Cities were coming in and picking them up. A lot of people don't realize that. So it hasn't been just county government that saved money on labor. It's our cities, our municipalities that
individual cities, food banks. It's been like Radcliffe, Eaton, everybody. The fairgrounds, the fairgrounds taking care of and stuff through inmate labor. They go out there and they love it. They go out there and cut it and stuff. And if you've been out there and stuff, it kind of looks like a golf course. I mean, it's beautiful out there. In the farmers market. Farmers market's taken care of. All the property and stuff is maintained by inmates.
People don't realize that we actually have a Civil War cemetery off of 31W that's in between Glendale and Sonora that you all take care of as well.
Yeah, Camp Nevin. And there's actually a Revolutionary War soldier buried there. And that's not it. That's not the only one. I mean, we've got stuff all up there on Fort Duffield. Fort Duffield is mowed, weed-eated, taken care of, trees trimmed and everything by the inmates of the Hardin County Detention Center. So a lot of people don't realize that, but, I mean, it is heartwarming to, when some people on Facebook will send you messages and say, hey, I saw your guys up there. I appreciate that, And I pass it on to the guys. They eat it up. They love it. So in turn, what I do is they have a good week, good 2 weeks, we have a barbecue, Guys here, appreciate you, And a lot of these agencies, like when you go out to work with Green Space, they'll bring chow out and they'll feed them real well because they just appreciate what they're doing.
Well, they appreciate, I'm sure, just getting out of the facility so that they can be outside and be out away from the facility itself. And
they love that, it's so amazing to see the community pride they have, even though most of them aren't from here. They really love going by and telling people, hey, I did that,
Especially the litter abatement thing. That I mean, you've bragged on them, I don't know how many times in fiscal court meetings, talking about them going out and picking up something that most of us wouldn't want to do, picking up trash, that they're out there and they pick it up with pride.
Sure. And, it's a shame that it has to be done.
Yes.
Because, you look at it and stuff and you see that these inmates have so much pride in their job they've done, but yet somebody put it there. Mm-hmm. That's, so, dump sites. People go through and they'll just dump a whole, load of trash somewhere. And the guys go out there and they say, oh, let's get this done. They're pretty excited to do it too.
And since you said that, Stephanie Givens, our solid waste coordinator, you've helped her to clean up dumping sites across the county.
And she's helped us a lot. With any kind of equipment we need, she's on the spot when it comes to that. We work real well together, and she's been very instrumental in all that. Very, very good for us. So,
Josh, I know it's hard to have a crystal ball, and I know it's hard to see in the future as to where you see Hardin County Detention Center going and more things that you can do in the community. Because the pandemic's going on, it's a little bit hard to see those kind of things, but maybe you could tell some of our viewers kind of what some of your thoughts are for the future.
Of course, the jail's an older building, and it's very well maintained. The maintenance department does an excellent job, and every year we've been able to, just go through and, take care of things, and very meticulous about it, and been able to, keep that up and everything. What I'd like to see in the future, less people in jail, of course. I'd like to see less crime rate. I'd like to see, people, calming down. I'd love to see it, I do believe that, eventually and stuff, there'll have to be an addition of some sort. But, something maybe down the road that's not too costly. But as of right now, stuff, it's, everything's going well.
So when the pandemic's not going on and you don't have as large a capacity there, you're saying at some point...
Usually we have about 100 more inmates than we currently have. And that's, filling up a jail.
Right.
And I hate to see that, because, full jail means that there's a lot of crime rate and, stuff like that. Because, we got great law enforcement around here. I mean, the law enforcement officers around here are top-notch in Hardin County in my book. I mean, I've worked with all of them for 20 years now. Well, next year will be 20 years. And, they do their job. if you break the law, you'll go to jail. But yeah, I just hope people don't break the law. I can't wait till we get back up and running back to full force to where we can actually still, it's been hard not having our chaplain works very tirelessly meeting with people, but with our church groups, we had 170 church groups a week that would come in and meet with people at different times. They're all, I'm sorry, 170 volunteers,
right,
from different church groups that would come in, meet with folks on a regular basis. Right now and stuff, during the pandemic, DOC and Department of Corrections won't allow a lot of this stuff, so our chaplain's working tirelessly talking to people and doing some stuff, through Zoom and everything and stuff. It's been,
When do you see that kind of lifting? When do you see that changing?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. I mean, that's not, there's a lot more people that are more intelligent than I am that would be able to make that call, but we've done a lot more stuff in the jail to keep morale boosted with not only the deputies and the inmates, but it's hard. It is hard because just like I tell some of the deputies, I was like, you see this, you see what's going on, but imagine what an inmate feels like at the same time.
Right.
We've Sunday's Super Bowl, of course, right? So the inmates that are at the One SAP program, the deputy said, hey, these guys are doing great. They've been doing great for this long. So they're going to have a little Super Bowl party, So they're out picking up stuff right now for their Super Bowl party. The deputies are picking up right now and stuff for that. So, of course that stuff comes out of our dime. It's not the county money. It comes out of, myself and the chief deputy's pocket, but it's a reward for them because they have been doing a great job.
Right.
So,
and Alan Yu has been a great chief deputy with you. So, Josh, our time goes by quickly, especially when we're talking about things that are great for our county, because you and I love this county so much, and we appreciate everything that not only you do, but your deputies do for Hardin County as a whole, and Hardin County Detention Center. So, thanks for.
I hope we can keep this dialogue going a lot more many years.
Exactly, exactly, and we appreciate that, and so we appreciate you being here on the show with us, and we try to keep everybody in Hardin County informed. And during the pandemic, a lot more of you all are staying at home. You're watching more TV. You're doing more things around the house, and it has been a tough time on people, and it has been rough. During this time, you've had another addition to your family, and I've had a grandbaby. So I mean, I didn't have it, but my daughter did.
I can't wait till they become tag team wrestling champions because they're big boys.
Thank you all for joining us on Hardin County Education and Community TV, where we try to keep you informed on what's going on in this big area that we call Hardin County, that we call home. And so we thank you for joining us. Stay tuned as we keep you up to date on what's going on with future activities, with the pandemic as we work through it. Please make sure you keep your mask on, wash your hands, get the shot. We've got several opportunities that are going to start coming available. I know it's been rough about getting inoculation, but those things are going to start happening as we get more inoculation made, and you're going to see that in our county. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time here on Hardin County Education and Community TV. I'm Bryce Shoemate from Hardin County Government, Josh Lindboom from Hardin County Detention Center. Thanks for joining us.